I'd now like to introduce Naomi BALLANTYNE. Naomi's founded 3 insurance companies and in 2010 founded Partners Life. She has been the main driver of the industry's product innovation over the last 34 years, incredibly busy, created an enormous number of jobs, and was awarded in 2017 a New Year's Honour, a New Zealand Order of Merit for services to business. Thank you.
I'm on your program as an economy expert of New Zealand. So first of all, I have to apologise. I am not an economy expert. And I'm also afraid I've actually never done business in China either. So what I can't give you is a comparison between the 2 countries in respect of financial services. What I can give you is some insight into what the New Zealand financial services market looks like, and from that you can make your own comparisons. And what also, hopefully, you will find from this, whether you're in the financial services markets or not, is some insights into New Zealand in general. I'll skip that. That's just a disclaimer that says if you take a copy of my slides, I'm speaking only for myself and not the company. Why have I been invited to speak to you today? Well, I've had 35 years of financial services, insurance experience in New Zealand, and I've received both a Lifetime Achievement Award and, as you've heard, an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to the industry. I've been involved in the 3 startups that are now the largest life insurance companies in New Zealand, including having been the founder of 2 of them. My latest venture, Partners Life, as you can see from this slide, has been a spectacular success story, despite only being just over 6 years old. So I guess I'm here speaking to you today because I am a life insurance expert in New Zealand. So, talking about New Zealand, in my opinion, New Zealand is firstly diverse. Our buying customers, our employees and our suppliers are all from significantly diverse backgrounds in terms of age, ethnicity, religion, gender, education, sexuality, family structures. Effectively, what that means is a New Zealand audience reflects the thoughts, wishes and fears of consumers across all world markets. One size most definitely will not work in New Zealand. One size fits all is not a term we can use here. This diversity in New Zealand, which includes a vibrant and rapidly growing Chinese community, presents a unique opportunity to learn about and to learn how to appeal to multiple customer segments all at once. We are competitive. With only a few million potential customers, New Zealand businesses must become very good at understanding and responding to their customers. In other words, we have to have a compelling and competitive customer advantage. We have to be extremely efficient in order to achieve a balance between delivering a great customer offering and delivering good shareholder returns. This competitiveness means products must be specifically tailored to the New Zealand market, so simply duplicating products from other markets doesn't work here. New Zealanders are innovative, much like Chinese. To maximise profits while delighting our customers, New Zealand businesses have to become innovative and brave. We have to be prepared to try things that no one has ever done before, rather than just incrementally building onto existing offerings, services, processes and systems. Conversely, New Zealand consumers are also very early adopters of innovations. Perhaps that reflects the fact that many of us are also employees or owners of our own innovative businesses. The combination of high competition and an environment of innovation requires fast decision-making and efficient execution. Otherwise, opportunities are going to be lost to competitors before you can take advantage of them. New Zealand businesses are comparatively lean with relatively few management layers. And what that does is it makes communication and therefore decision-making very timely and very efficient. The combination of all 3 of those things, diversity, competition and innovation, means New Zealand businesses can create products, systems, services and processes that can and are likely to trigger significant industry disruption in other markets. In New Zealand, we are also regulated. New Zealand regulations, though, are based firstly on protecting consumers and secondly on protecting the sustainability of the industry. Regulations are largely based on common sense and a fair and reasonable approach, meaning regulations do not significantly hinder innovation or competition. Regulatory reporting is required, but it's not particularly onerous. And in our industry in New Zealand, there are no specific approvals required for product design, pricing, systems, processes, the distribution channels we choose to use. As long as they all comply with standard New Zealand laws, the decisions are able to be made solely by the business. New Zealanders are also sophisticated consumers. They have enjoyed regulatory protections for many years, so they understand and demand their rights. They demand good service, given that the competitive environment in New Zealand has created that expectation. They do not trust easily. Their trust must be earned through the demonstration of competence and ethics over time. That means the influence of celebrity endorsement is far less effective in New Zealand. The pre-global financial collapse in New Zealand, pre that, in New Zealand, we had a debacle with finance company collapses, where New Zealanders gleefully rushed in, chasing high-level returns without understanding the risks of the products that they were buying. We also had the Christchurch earthquake experience, where many people bought fire and general insurance products direct because they seemed to be cheap. In that circumstance, what they found when the earthquakes occurred is that the coverage they thought was cheap was woefully inadequate and became the most expensive decisions that they could have made. So all of that has led to New Zealanders in the financial services space being very suspicious of offerings that seem too good to be true. In addition, more recently, Australian banks have been in the media continuously for mis-selling of financial products to unsuspecting customers. As a result, New Zealanders tend to want to seek professional advice from someone they trust before they will buy financial services products. Maybe digitisation or automation of the advice component of selling relating to financial products is the new future in that industry. We are also in our market currently undergoing significant merger and acquisition activity. AAA, a name you will all know well, has recently acquired ComInsure in Australia, which has meant they've also picked up the largest life insurer in New Zealand called Sovereign. Market rumours also suggest that OnePath, which is owned by ANZ, Astra Life, owned by Suncorp, potentially both on the market in both Australia and New Zealand. We have seen Japanese insurers acquiring Australian wealth and life insurance businesses as a strategy to help them deliver better long-term growth than they can get domestically. And we anticipate that that activity is likely to also turn its attention to New Zealand. Our products are predominantly distributed through independent intermediaries who give personalised advice based on each individual's specific circumstance. Those advisors are effectively educating consumers about their needs as part of their service. They can offer consumers choice of product provider. If IFAs tend to specialise in and in our market, IFAs tend to specialise either in investment advice or mortgage advice or insurance advice, rather than generalising across all of those product categories. Direct financial services, which are common, I understand, in your market, including digital fulfilment, they've been available in New Zealand for many, many decades, and yet the penetration of them is still very, very low, which is quite different both from Australia and, as I understand it, China. Superannuation in New Zealand is dominated by KiwiSaver, which means individual fund management portfolios, meaning there are no industry super funds like there are in Australia, meaning the sale of life insurances through large super funds is not possible in New Zealand. This time allocation means I'm not able to cover much today, but what I hope is that this overview has helped make the New Zealand financial services environment a little bit clearer for all of you. Share.